back to the channel, guys. Today we're going to have my first ever review. Since a lot of you have tuned in and a lot of you have at this point probably know we're having a third child on the way, well, it was only fair for my wife to get gifted with a brand new Wonderfold. I've talked about push wagons all throughout this channel. And if you guys have stayed tuned and seen any of my videos, you probably have seen this beast probably in every single video or every adventure that we went on. The Radio Flyer Push Wagon. This thing is old, reliable, but it's time to retire it. And I'm going to kind of give you a little bit of the pros and cons of this son of a gun. Because guys, as you can see, comparing the two is like apples and oranges. This thing is basically your Toyota Camry, old reliable, when it comes to the push wagon world. And this thing is essentially the Rolls Royce. Comfortable, luxurious, and it's got a lot of features that are probably unnecessary. And it could be a little bit of an engineering nightmare, if you will. So let's get into it. Alright guys, well, I'm not going to get too much into the Radio Flyer. You've literally have seen this thing in action several times in my on my channel. If you haven't, go look at a lot of my videos, especially the ones where we go to Kings Island and we go to Cedar Point. Those are probably the most preferable times to use such a tool if you have at least 2 to 3 kids. I've talked about it before, but the Radio Flyer, when we first got this, we bought it on Amazon, and it was for about, I think, about $180 at the time. So we just recently sold this to my pal, Owen. So you guys have seen him on the channel before. He came to Kings Island with us one day, and his daughter is absolutely in love with it, and I thought, you know what? He's going to get a deal on this, and I gave him one heck of a deal for this wagon because he needed his very own first push wagon. And this, guys, is honestly, if you're a first-time parent and you're about ready to go on ventures like amusement parks or just go to any place that's going to require a lot of walking, this right here is a great starter push wagon. I can't say enough about it. We put a lot of mileages on it. It's very versatile. I think we've had it for about 3 years at this point, and when I say we put a lot of mileage on it, man, we've been to county fairs, we've been to Renaissance festivals, we've been to the tractor show recently that was on my channel. Go check that out, and it'll kind of show you a little bit of some of the terrain that it was able to kind of go through. So this thing can go just about anywhere and everywhere that you want it. It's pretty light for the most part. You guys have seen this thing folded up in a lot of my videos. Like I said, go check them out if you want to see this thing in action. But for the most part, what we're going to do today is we're going to talk about this beast right here, the Wonderfold. Like I said, this thing right here is essentially the Rolls Royce of push wagons. My wife, ever since we had our second child, has been wanting one of these for a very long time. And now we've probably established ourselves enough to where we were in a good financial space that, you know what, this is kind of an affordable option. I'm not going to lie to you guys, this thing is an absolute tank when it comes to your wallet. You're probably going to drop at least $800. I think that's about how much we paid for this thing. This particular model is called the Wonderfold 4 Lux Pro. So this has kind of got all the bells and whistles, if you will. It's even got this leather handle to go with it. So yeah, we kind of went all out on this puppy because, you know, we got like I said, we got a third one on the way. This will probably be and hopefully be our last push wagon of the decade. So we're gonna make sure it works out for us. All right, guys. So this is the Wonderfold 4 Luxe Pro. Like I said, this is going to drop, you're going to probably drop a little over 800 bucks whenever you get this, depending on where you go. I don't even know where to begin, honestly. This thing is kind of a, it's either an engineering nightmare, it's an engineer's wet dream, if you will. This thing's got a lot of features, guys, a lot of features. And a lot of those features, it can be a little bit overwhelming at times too. So I'll tell you what this model in particularly comes with. You're going to get the canopy. Essentially, these are 2 pieces. The canopy goes on top. You can take them off. As you can see, they kind of lower and raise. You can even lower them all the way. And this essentially becomes a portable pack and play, if you will. If you guys saw the comparison earlier, this is definitely taller. I'd say maybe a good 3 or 4 inches wider than the Radio Flyer. And the reason why they call this the Wonderfold 4 is because it's got 4 seats. You can fit 4 children in this Wonderfold in particularly. I wouldn't pack like 4 toddlers in there. They're going to be pretty cramped. And with our newborn on the way, this does have a lot of accessories that you can buy online. One of which is that they have an accessory that you can take this seat out in particular, or this seat up. That doesn't really matter. I'll show you how that works out here in a second. And you can put an attachment where you can put the car seat on there and then leave one of the seats in here so your 2 other children who are a little older can sit next to each other. So essentially the plan is, since Alyssa is a little smaller, we're probably going to have Alyssa sit next to the baby, or probably until the baby gets older, obviously, to sit on its own. We're going to get that attachment more than likely. But what you could do is you could sit the 2 smaller children together and maybe your bigger child on the separate seat. And these are interchangeable, these seats. You can flip them around. You can both have them facing the same direction, either that way, or into facing each other. Because my wife's going to get a food tray so everybody can have a little sneaky snack whenever they decide that they're hungry. So, like I said, guys, it comes with this canopy. There are 2 pieces. You can flip them out, and that way you can pack it up and fold it up and put it away. It's got this leather handle right here. It is adjustable. You can adjust this to however you want, however high or low you want it to be. It's got pockets all over the place. As you can see, you got a pocket here, you got a pocket on this side. There's pockets behind the seats. There's pockets in the front right here. There's just pockets everywhere. It's like pocket galore. So let's get a little bit more into that. Alright guys, so like I said, this thing's got more pockets than a cargo pants, if you will. Like I said before, you got pockets on the sides, you got them behind the chairs, you even got pockets inside. You got pocket on over here, you got a pocket over there, you got a pocket everywhere. So let's get a little bit more in depth of this wagon in particular, because I mean, just looking at it myself, I've had it for a couple days and it's already overwhelming. And we're going to have a field test too later, so I'll show you how that works out with the kids inside of it. But like I said about this canopy, you can essentially take this out. Let's go ahead and take that out actually, so you guys can get a little better look of what the inside looks like. So it comes with 2 detachable chairs. All you have to do, there's 2 belt buckles on the bottom that kind of hold it together. You unbuckle them, and then you can take this part right here off. Kind of hard, but that keeps the chair from kind of going down. And then you can take the other side off as well, so there's a belt buckle back here too. I'll try to show a little bit of a close-up here later. But there, and then you just take this side off right here. Boom. Take the belt buckles off. Bada bing, bada boom. Now you've got all this real estate. All this real estate. Now you got just 2 seats instead of just 4. And you can take off this as well, and essentially, like I said before, this becomes a portable pack and play. So if you have an infant, this is absolutely amazing to have. This comes with, like I said before, the thing is about this being the Rolls Royce of push wagons, it comes with a plethora of accessories that you can either buy on their site or buy on Amazon or Temu or wherever. I mean, I'm sure everybody's made stuff for this. And I'm sure a lot of you are wondering how do the kids get in and out? Well, there's several ways, and we're going to get into that. Alright guys, well, here's what the inside of the Wonderfold looks like. As you can see, there is a lot of real estate inside of this puppy. This is where the other chair would go. Like I said, it straps in just like that. You got the straps on the bottom to make sure it don't go nowhere. Now, I know a lot of what you are thinking, how in the heck are my kids going to get out of this wagon? Because I'm sure you guys have seen my wagon, and I'm sure you've seen that the side comes off and it's easy as 1, 2, 3. Well, here's where some of the cons are going to start playing. So, unfortunately, there's really only one main way, or I should say an easy way to kind of get in and out of this wagon, and that's by the front. So if you have a chair right here, well, I guess your kids are going to have to tuck and roll, and essentially that's what Wonderfold does advertise, is that the kids are just, you got this easy access from the front, and all they have to do is just bend over, crawl underneath this 10-inch clearance and get out from the front. I'll be honest with you guys, especially when we have 3 kids, this is not exactly going to be an easy feat. So essentially, you just unzip the front like so. This puppy comes up, bada bing, bada boom. Now, if you don't have a chair there, yeah, that's not very hard to get out. They essentially call this the doggy door. As you can see, it's essentially like a dog door. Now, there is a hack to this. You can unbutton and unzip these sides enough, because these are detachable, to where you can essentially have one side off, and your kids have a way easier way of kind of getting out from the side. Obviously, they're going to have to duck underneath this pole right here, but in my opinion, if you have a seat here, which if any of you have gotten this wagon probably have more than 2 kids, and that's the reason why you bought it, it's going to be a little bit of a challenge for them to get out of that doggy door. So taking off the sides of this wagon, which I'll probably provide a video or a hyperlapse of how that works, is probably going to be a lot easier than going out of that thing right there. Alright, moving on. So, the other thing about this wagon, the Lux 4 Pro, is that we got the all-terrain wheels. They're extra large. I'll be honest with you guys, I think we had a little bit of an overkill when it came to the wheels. These things are absolutely massive. Like, I don't even know. But hey, you know, go big or go home, I guess. But as you can see, the amount of clearance that you get underneath this is absolutely ridiculous compared to the radio flyer. So, I guess if you're hiking through the woods and there's a log that you need to get over, you're gonna have no issues. The other thing that this wagon came with, which this is actually kind of cool, I'm actually kind of stoked for this feature is you do get yourself a traveling cooler. And it's got a little cubby area down here. Probably put snacks, chips, whatever. And it does detach as well. So let's just say you don't need this big old cooler. Well, bada bing, bada boom, it does detach. And here's one of those extra pockets that I was talking about, guys. Now, if you noticed, my other wagon does have a handle in the front, so you'll be able to pull it. Well, you can't do that with this. You're just going to have to attach this handle to that bar in the front. So essentially you get yourself a tow hitch, or tow rope if you will, that comes with the wagon. And that way, if for whatever reason, I don't know why you would want to pull it, then you can. So, alright guys, well now I'm going to go ahead and start folding this thing up, show you how easy that is. And we're going to head to the park and I'll show you what it's like to have 2 kids inside of the wagon. Alright, real quick guys, this is Future Chase. I just wanted to also mention that on the side here inside, there's a little flap for a windbreaker in case it gets too cold outside. Pretty cool. Alright guys, I got the thing all packed up. We'll talk about it a little bit more once we get to the park. Me and the kids, my test dummies here. They're going to give their own review of what they think about the new Wonderfold as well. So we're just going to go to the park and we're going to test it out here. They got a nice little walking path, so I'll let you know once we get there. Let's go. What do you guys think so far?
I like it.
Alright, so as you can see, this thing is not exactly the easiest thing to put up and put together to get out of your car, and it takes up quite a bit of real estate. So if you got a car, it'll fit. You just got to put everything, you got to take everything apart. And as you can see, it took quite a bit of effort for both of these two to kind of get in and out of the vehicle, or in and out of the wagon as well. So it's not exactly the most convenient way to travel with your kids, but once you got it together, this thing is an absolute beast. And when I say it's a Rolls Royce of wagons, it is the Rolls Royce of wagons. These two are absolutely comfortable. They're living a life of luxury right now. So, as you can see, you got to take the wheels apart and everything else to be able to get this thing to fit into my car, which isn't exactly the smallest car in the world either. It's considered an SUV in its own aspect. So, that being said, now we're going to take the girls to the park, and I'm going to give you my honest opinion about this wagon in general. Let's go. What do you think?
I like it.
What's your favorite part?
I like that there's snacks here.
So you got a snack holder?
Yes, so then when my parents secretly put snacks in here, I'll look in here and then snack.
Alyssa, what do you think?
I like the roof.
Huh?
I like the roof.
You don't know.
I like the roof.
You like
she
the
likes
what?
the roof.
The roof?
Yeah, the roof.
Is it stretchy? Stretchy roof.
I can see it.
Well done. Back. Home sweet home. So, what'd you guys think of the Wonderfold? I'm going to tell you what I think here. So, let's get into it. Okay. So, Wonderfold 4 Luxe Pro. If you go to their website now, it's approximately around $900. I know what you're thinking. Good God, that thing is expensive. So, is it worth $900? I don't know. It depends on who you're asking. If you've got a truck or a big SUV like a Tahoe or a Jeep or something, sure, it might be worth $900. But somebody like me who's got a little bit more of a compact SUV, and I've packed all kinds of stuff in that SUV of mine. All kinds of stuff. So, it takes up about 75% of your real estate, depending on what kind of car you got. That's another thing you guys have to consider too, is the not only the convenience, but it's also 58 pounds without all of the accessories and whatnot. 58 pounds isn't a whole lot of weight, but I wouldn't expect your wife to be hauling that thing into the back of the trunk all the time. So guys, our husbandly fatherly duties are going to be calling for us again, for our muscles, if you will. You will more than likely be stuck putting it in the back of the trunk. So just remember that, guys, men. We're going to be the ones putting that in and out of the trunk, probably not our wives. Nothing against, the wives. I'm sure there's a lot of strong, independent women out there, but for the most part, especially if your wife's pregnant, you're going to be putting it in the back of your car. Alright, so attachments. We've talked about them before. I just got off the phone with my wife earlier. We were talking about, putting your car seat in one of the attachments. Basically, it just holds in, there's two little clips that holds on to the wall of the, or the railing of the actual Wonderfold, and then you're able to snap in a car seat. It's not accessible to all car seats. There's certain brands, you'll have to Google them. I don't know them off the top of my head, but just keep in mind, if this is something that you are shopping for and you're thinking, oh, that's cool, I got a couple toddlers and I have a baby on the way, this is something that you're going to have to do your little research on if you want to get that accessory that goes with the Wonderfold. Alright guys, well, so my honest opinion about the Wonderfold is, I wouldn't get it unless there's like a coupon or something. We actually got it on sale through my wife's work. She has some way to be able to get like certain items cheaper than it would be retail price. So needless to say, we did get it like $200 cheaper. If you're able to knock off $200, then go for it. From what I understand, Wonderfold does hold up its value through time. So 10 years down the line, if push wagons are still a thing, it will probably still be worth some money. So that being said, too, with it being able to hold its value, you're going to be looking for something that's pretty durable, and it's very durable compared to the flyer, the radio flyer. It's definitely better material. It's a lot thicker, so that's the reason why it's so much heavier, is because it's built for the test of time. You can fit up to about 300 pounds into this wagon, so almost the amount of me and Carrie sitting inside of it together, it could hold up to that. So you're going to be hauling some major stuff. Like I said, guys, in some of my previous videos, the push wagon is kind of like your truck and trailer when it comes to going to amusement parks or any kind of special event that involves a lot of walking. Because even if your kids aren't, being hauled inside of it, you may want to be able to haul some stuff inside of it yourself. Like if you're dragging everything out onto the beach, which that's going to be pretty interesting to see how those all-terrain wheels that we talked about work on the sand. I don't think it's going to be as easy as everybody advertises it to be, but we'll see. I did push it through some of the grass today, through some fields, pretty smooth. But again, guys, you're literally pushing a playpen, if you will, on wheels. So it's going to be kind of cumbersome. But at the end of the day, I'd probably give it a 7.5 out of 10. Recommend. So 1 being stay away from this thing, do not touch it, and 10 being get off your butt right now and go get this right now before they're sold out. 7.5. That's what I would probably give it. Good material, high quality, lots of customization, very comfortable. Kids love it. Some of the cons: it's very cumbersome, heavy, not so much of a convenience, and it's going to take up 75% of your real estate inside of your vehicle whenever you're hauling it. So those are things guys, that you're going to have to look into if you're thinking about getting a Wonderfold. I hope this video was super helpful, because it's definitely a tool, the push wagon, that we use 90% of the time whenever we go to any event that involves a lot of walking. It's something that we need just for our kids and our child that's coming on the way as well. So if you're a parent just like us and does stuff pretty similar to what we do, any kind of push wagon, highly recommend it. The Wonderfold, like I said, pretty good wagon. Yeah, guys, go check it out. Wonderfold 4 Lux Pro. Go check it out. So until next time, guys, I hope you like, I hope you subscribe. Keep chasing your dreams.